Hello there everybody, welcome back to my channel. We've literally just had the community stream for April in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. So I'm here to showcase to all of you guys that may have missed it, or perhaps want to find out some of the stuff with a bit of knowledge from outside of it, like what's happening, what's going to come out with banners, things like that, what events we can expect. And so if all of that stuff is things that you are interested in, then of course, as always, stay tuned and keep on watching. Before we get started, of course, don't forget to check out all of my social media links in the description box below. With regards to Twitch, the first thing I want to say is that, unbelievably, and you've probably seen all my gushy messages on Twitter and on my YouTube community posts and stuff like that, but it's been a year now since I started streaming regularly on Twitch, and honestly, the way that it's kind of gone and the kind of trajectory for it all has been absolutely amazing. So I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for coming along and following me, or just enjoying the content that I'm putting out. Honestly, the situation I had been in this time last year was a very, very scary one, and you guys literally helped me not fall into darkness, basically, by losing everything, and I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. So a huge thank you goes out to each and every one of you for that. With regards to Patreon, who I'm also very, very thankful for every single one of my patrons. Every time I try and make sure everybody's all happy with how things are going, and everyone hopefully seems to be, so we're going to try and push for more stuff to do with Patreon as well. But of course, I always shout out one of my patrons every time I release a video, and today that person is going to be Resfoina, who is actually a content creator themselves, and if you haven't checked her out, you should absolutely go and follow her channels. Her Twitch is fabulous, her YouTube is awesome, she does loads of pool battles with people, and it's really, really good stuff, so I very much encourage you to go and check her out. And if you would like a title card just like Res has, where it's made custom made for you, as well as other bits and pieces like voice chats with myself and all the other patrons, and being a part of Would You Pull and that kind of stuff, then definitely check out my Patreon page, and maybe you'd like to become a patron yourself as well, and it would be massively appreciated. Don't forget to check out all of the other social media there's around, all the resources that are about for Opera Omnia. There's some wonderful links in the description box below, and of course all the other content creators besides myself. So once again, before we get started onto the slides, a massive thank you to Josh, and also to Crystal, who is brand new to doing some of the Opera Omnia streams with Josh. It was lovely to see you both as always, and thank you very much for the information. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about here is actually very exciting for a lot of players, and it's actually not even to enter a banner or anything like that. It's all quality of life updates, and Auto Plus is going to be becoming a thing within the very near future after maintenance this week, and it's something that people have been looking forward to for ages. In combination with the other quality of life changes as well, it's going to make our lives so much easier, and especially when we're just about to get a divine summon board as well, this is an absolute godsend. So having Auto Plus basically means that your characters actually use their skills when they're on auto. They use their EX whenever it's available, they use their LD, they alternate between their skill 1 and 2, they use their HP attacks during launches. It's really good stuff. So what we're hopefully going to be able to do is get an auto clear for Divine Ramu when it comes around. We'll get to that in a little while as well, to make farming that a lot more tolerable. Not only that, but we're getting the retry screen as well. This is something that JP's had alongside with auto. We're actually getting it earlier than they did, so that's pretty fabulous. And then this is basically going to give you the ability to reform your party and go straight into the same mission again, or you just press the retry button and you can just go straight back into the fight again. Again, when we're farming, this is an absolute godsend. Being able to just play the same quest straight away, whether it be a crystal farming mission, a summon board farming mission, anything where you're farming, this is going to be a big deal. And then not only that as well, we're getting the 10 ticket quality of life. And honestly, this is something that I was kind of like, do I care about this particularly? And honestly, as time's gone on, yeah, I do. I was like, oh yeah, but if you get it in the first ticket, then you're wasting the other 9. Basically, what it is it gives you the ability to use 10 tickets at the same time rather than just 1. It's not treated like a multi-pull. It's not like an actual multiple, so you don't get G tokens or anything like that. It doesn't give you 11. It just gives you 10 pulls, as you can see on the picture. But it's going to speed things up significantly. And honestly, there's nothing more disheartening than sitting there for about 20 minutes. Believe me, I would know. I've just done it with Gabranth for 20 minutes, single ticketing, and there just being nothing. It's like, rip the band-aid off. If it's going to be that bad, then it's going to be that bad. At least then I can know about it. And we're also getting a global exclusive quality of life update, which makes co-op significantly better. So the turn timer is reduced from 60 seconds to a third of that, to 20 seconds. So people who are just like sitting there and not doing anything, it's going to be a lot less time that you have to sit and wait before something happens. And it goes with Auto Plus priority as well, so it integrates the Auto Plus into co-op. The only thing that does worry me a little bit with this is that because there's a 20-second thing, and there's a bit like you actually do something after 20 seconds, that people will sit there and like feel that they don't have to play the game and can just leave it on. Don't be one of those people. Please just don't do it. Co-op is like grindy enough as it is. Don't make it worse. And like this is a good thing to happen. Don't ruin it. But all told, like, all of these quality of life updates are fantastic. And the fact that we're getting them all at once, I'm really looking forward to this Thursday. Next up, we're going to be talking about the Spring Festival, which starts after maintenance on March 25th, just like a lot of the quality of life stuff. And basically, this is going to give us 33 free multi-draws, so one a day, every day, between March 25th and April 28th, so 33 days worth, where you get a Spring Festival draw ticket that you can use on one of 3 banners that has a bunch of characters on it that are protagonists from a certain subsect of characters. So there's going to have everything from FF1 to 7, then everything from FF8 to 15, and then all of the side games. This is EX only banners, so you're not going to get a huge amount out of this. There's no LDs or bursts or anything on it. But if you're short on Power Stones, and it's going to be really, really valuable. And if you're new to the game, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal for you to get that 33 pull head start. And not only that, but I assume we're going to be getting these lovely little Sakura Moogle stickers on top of it as well, which are very pretty. And we're also getting free multi-pulls on banners all the way through to April. Like 11 banners with a free multi-draw is pretty massive. I mean, I could do with a free banner throwing me a bone here, to be honest. Like, Kais was nice to me this month, and that is it. So I could really do with this game throwing me a bone. And then also we're going to be getting double cycle quests, the same as always. We're going to get new panel missions, which means more resources. We're going to get the Carbuncle's treasures. We get the triple effect sale. We get all of that like we do pretty much every month, to be honest. And then we also get Aerith's LD banner with a free first multi-draw. However, we don't know exactly when this banner is coming out, which as a content creator is very frustrating. It's not coming out on March the 25th. This is clarified on the stream. It's coming out later. And I'm assuming going off of like the way JP's done it, this came out between Emperor and Nash. So keep an eye out, and I will probably be posting my Should You Pull video for Aerith pretty shortly after Emperor, just so that people can know that it's there ready for when this banner comes out. There's also a costume bundle for her, like we've seen this costume before, but there is also a new weapon gloss, which is the Sunflower Rod. I don't really like these weapon glosses personally, because I don't really like the silliness of them, but I will go out and tell you now that I will probably be gemming Aerith's banner. Aerith's banner is a bit of a weird one, because it features every EX, and then her LD, and then presumably Emperor's Burst. So there's going to be banners like this going forward, and they are a bit weird, but there's a preconception that like you have to gem this banner because the likelihood that you'll get the LD is lessened by the X. That's actually not true. I was under the illusion that that was true for a while, and it's actually not, because the chance of the LD is still the same, but I think that people do it because they don't want the gold orb to kind of come up and then people just assume that it's not the thing that they were after. And we're also getting a co-op to go along with it. So Aerith, like, honestly, Aerith LD is fantastic. Seal Evil is a really strong attack that I'll go into greater detail on when I make the Should You Pull video for her, but she's definitely one that you're going to want to keep an eye out on. So that co-op event is going to come along around the same sort of time as like what we've seen already, but we're going to be getting the Start Dash renewal. Now, I've already made my Should You Pull video for this, so if you want to learn more about like Cloud, Lightning, and Squall, and what their LD boards and what Squall's rework brings to him, it's really good. Then, you know, maybe check that video out as well. But we're getting a free first draw as well. And as was predicted as well, this banner is only available for 7 days. It's a very short-lived banner, so be careful that you don't wait for too long to try and pull for one of these if you are going to go in on it, because it doesn't hang about. But there's some nice bits that come along with it. So they are boosted for World of Illusion's Ultimate Quests, not Divine boards, but regular Summon Ultimate boards. You can use these guys to try and get your Summon board points in place, ready for when you need that. So that's going to be nice for players who haven't done that for every character or anything like that. There's the Storming into Spring co-op, which is the one that was featured in the last slide. So we get a co-op that's going to give us a few resources, bits like that. We also get 5,000 enhancement points after leveling Cloud to sea level 50, and this is like a permanent upgrade. So if you're wanting to use this on one of these characters' LBD boards, you're just going to be able to get it. Don't have to worry about Mog Pass or none of that. You just get it. And then you get some extra missions for like extra tickets and wild points, things like that. So like this is probably going to come in the form of either the Chocobo board that was talked about earlier, or it's just going to come in the missions tab. But getting extra tickets is always pleasant. So honestly, if you want to learn more about the characters themselves, check out the video that I've posted just before this one. So from March 30th, we're going to be seeing Divine Ramu. Now, this is a very welcome thing at any time. It's always wonderful to see a Divine Summon or a Summon board of any kind pop up because it means buttloads of resources. So the same thing is going to apply here as it did for Diablos. So it's going to be the same thing where you have to tackle it with the same party over and over and again, and you can get a buttload of gems, you get loads of tickets, you get some books and nuggets and things like that, and you're just going to be smacking Ramu about repeatedly. Now, the banners that come along with this are going to contain Emperor and his LD returning and his burst, and you guys know how I feel about Emperor and how much I love him, so therefore he's going to be a character I'm eyeing up a lot. However, Sellers is also in this particular batch as well, and she gets her LD and a rework to go along with it. And both of these characters are really powerful. Like, Sellers becomes a very strong tank, and she lasts for quite a long time as well. So she's definitely somebody that I will go in greater detail of when it comes to the Should You Pull video for this that I'll be releasing later on this week. And she's definitely a worthwhile character. Now, I already have Emperor's LD, and I pulled for Emperor's LD for this purpose so that I could pull for Sellers as LD with tickets. Hopefully she's nicer to me than the last few characters have been. And then, you know, being able to build up Emperor's Burst as well. Emperor's LD board is really nice because it makes it so that his bravery can't go under 10% from his own stuff. So it exponentially increases the damage of all of his traps. And his burst weapon, it also inflicts a really damaging trap by itself. And because of the way that he works, like he's laying the traps, and his HP plus and his LD can trigger them all, his damage actually like skyrockets from this, and it's actually very good. So I will go into greater detail with these, obviously, when the banners come out, or like just before the banners come out for the Should You Pull. But they're both characters that you want to be keeping an eye on. These two and Aerith, they're nice. And then following on from Divine Ramu, like 5 days later for April 5th, it's going to be Nash's Lost Chapter. Now, Nash is a character that a lot of people really like, myself included, and he actually has like a very tiny rework that happens at the very start of his quest, but it's not anything to like make a big fuss about. It's more of kind of fixing him than anything. But his LD is also pretty good. But the thing with Nash is that he comes back later with a burst. So this is going to be one of those banners where you can choose to either go in to get his LD now, or you could wait and then go for his burst later. It basically depends on how much you care about Noel and his LD, which is good, but then Nash is also pretty solid as well. And then on April 8th, so not long after Nash, we're going to be getting Aranea come back. And Aranea's having an event, like a full-blown event as if she were a new character, because at this point in the timeline, as far as JP was concerned, she is a new character. We got her as a global exclusive a year earlier, but this is kind of the event that she's featured on. And she's actually very good as well. She's not broken like she used to be, because she's just not. But her LD grants her a buff that basically makes it so that all of her attacks re-break, which sounds disgusting. But when you're fighting a lot of Lufenia missions that require them to take turns for the orb, then Aranea is not going to do a very good job. And if you have lightning available to you, Aranea is slightly less appealing because lightning can do a lot of the same stuff that Aranea can do, but has the HP damage up to cater to it, the burst, obviously, you know, things like that. However, with Aranea, Vital Crusher is still a thing. It's still very good. Having that extra bravery damage across the board for your whole party, it's a debuff worth noting. All of Emperor's banners are really strong in their own ways, and my personal plan is if I don't get Emperor's Burst while pulling for either Sellers or Aerith, I probably will throw some resources at one of these two banners, if not both of them. Basically comes down to how my luck pans out, and if recent times are anything to go by, it's not looking great. Later on in the month, on April 14th, we'll see the next burst character after Emperor come about, and it's going to be Ishtala. Now, as a white mage main in FF14, I love the way that her LD works. Like, her LD's actually not busted at this point in her burst. She's good, but she's not broken, like, on the levels of some characters that we've seen. So if you're skipping out on a character, then, you know, I mean, I always pull on every burst character because of their 2-week synergy and the fact that they're always the ones that come back later better. And Ishtala is a great example of that because she's one of the first characters to get her burst plus, which is something that we'll be discussing way into the future. But if you're looking at kind of investing into somebody in the future, then Ishtala is a solid pick. And her LD basically gives her Blood Lily that she has, or as white mages have in FF14, and as they stack up, you get Afflatus Misery, which is a really powerful attack, as it is in FF14. So the white mage main in me is kind of going, this might be difficult to pass up. And it's also going to see the return of Kuja. So if you already have Kuja, like I do, then you'll have an LD board to look forward to, you'll have a synergy character to look forward to, and you'll also get an LD call, which you guys have seen the power of Seraphic Star. Having that as a call ability is actually very nice. His LD board is actually fairly underwhelming, if I'm honest. Like, it doesn't add a huge amount, it just adds a bit of Brave Overflow to everybody, to the Crystal of Life, the Memories of Life buff that he's got. It's nice, but Kuja, like, could have done with a little bit more, if I'm honest. But having the LD call and having the level 80 for it so that he's able to call things is going to make him more appealing. And then the last slide that we've got here is going to be the banners that come alongside Ishtala's burst, and like the things that can feature that. And first things first, we have Trey and his LD. Now, Trey was pretty good before when he came out with just his EX, because of his ability to instant break things using his debuffs, etc. And his LD is actually very good as well, being like a trap-based LD that also increases bravery damage because it's based on a debuff. So having Trey is just a valuable character to have in general. He's just not, like, he does so many different things with very few debuff slots, etc. So it does work very nicely for him. So if you're looking to get Ishtala's burst, Trey's banner is a great one for you to do it on. And then lastly, on April 23rd, we're going to get another boss rush mission. God, that's hard to say. Where I honestly really enjoy the boss rushes. I find them really fun, but I know that they're not for everybody. And this one is going to feature Waka's LD. Now, Waka's LD is status reels, and it features a random element to it, but none of them are bad. Like, status reels is random, but you get either the massive stat reduction down where they increase, and all of them increase the bravery damage that they take, but you either get a massive stat reduction, a freeze, so similar to Setzer, or a paralysis. So none of them are bad, but Waka's not one I'm particularly excited for. Like, because I'm struggling to find banners that I want to skip at this point. The next Future Pulls video is going to be a nightmare, but he is still really good, and he only doesn't interest me because he's Waka, basically. So there's going to be lots of things coming up. Like, there's a lot of really cool banners, lots of fan favorite characters such as Celes, Aerith, Ishtala, Trey for Type 0 fans. There's lots of really nice things coming up. But if I were you, like, my personal opinion is the ones that you want to be really looking out for are going to be Celes, Aerith, Emperor if you already have his LD, and then Trey and Ishtala if you're wanting to invest in the future. Before finishing the video though, there is one thing that I thought was very interesting when it came to this stream, and it's not something that was mentioned. More specifically, it's something that wasn't mentioned. Now in JP, Sarah, with her LD, was supposed to come along with Ishtala's batch of banners. Now, Sarah's LD is very well known amongst the community as the worst LD there is. Like, it doesn't do practically anything, and it comes on a banner that's very similar to Aerith's. Now, it wasn't mentioned in the stream at all, and there were things said along the lines of, you know, things that haven't been spoken about may happen, but watch this space. And I'm not sure what they're going to do with Sarah or whether they'll do anything at all, but I just found it very interesting that they didn't even bring her up. Like, maybe they didn't want to, like, get the backlash that they got for characters like Vincent or anything like that. They didn't want to drum up too much hype for something that might end up not being a thing. But I just thought it was very interesting that she wasn't mentioned at all. So that's everything we have to expect coming up from April in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. What are you looking forward to most? Where are your gems and your tickets going to go? What do you think of those quality of life updates? Because honestly, they're the most exciting thing to me that's come out of this stream, and they are all very, very welcome, and I can't wait for them. 10 ticket pulls, like, I didn't care about them before. I definitely do now. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the stream and what sorts of things that you're looking forward to. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, click that bell for notifications of any future videos I might be making. And then that's going to be it from me. And it's been a very busy day today with lots of videos and streams and all sorts, and I'm going to be streaming again because I still need to finish DE Transcendence. So there's a lot going on, but thank you all very much for joining me, and thank you all once again for following me on Twitch if you have done over the past year. It's massively appreciated, and I hope to give you guys another year of content, and I'm looking forward to it. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you then. Take care.